Hey everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'll be talking about tourism and sport at a local and national scale. But I won't be talking about case studies in this video since I've already made a few videos on it previously. So let's define some words first. So a hotspot is an area of intense leisure activities that can attract above average number of visitors. Tourists are attracted to these areas because they have primary and secondary resources and they are accessible. So a primary tourist resource are the main tourist attractions. So for example, climate, scenery, coastal resorts, historic and heritage buildings, cultural dance and festivals, and all those jazz. Secondary tourist resources can be external, such as airports, seaports, road networks that cut across national borders, railways, everything that is made towards tourism. Factors that determine whether the area is a hotspot include the climate. So if an area is really hot and temperatures are extreme, such as the annual desert race that takes place in the Sahara, that's a hotspot, but other than that, it may not, define itself as a hotspot. And if the area is too cold, then it could serve as a skiing hotspot, such as the Alps. So the culture of an area, so if the people have some type of religion, like Mecca or Jerusalem, cuisine, clothing, architecture, or education, then people would go there to visit these things. So Mecca is a hotspot for Islamic pilgrims who visit the holy site as a form of religious worship, and Jerusalem and the holy sites also serve as hotspots for Christian pilgrimage. Natural landscape. So if it is low-lying, it would be adequate for football, rugby, and golf. If it is mountainous and cold, it would be adequate for skiing, or an attractive area for biodiversity, paragliding, and hiking. So sporting events. If the area has sporting events, then it is most likely to attract tourists. Countries such as Barcelona are well known for football, thus people are willing to travel to Barcelona just to watch their football matches. And the World Cup is also important, and the Olympics as well. So government investment and planning. So the government deliberately makes tourism a key aspect of its economic development, and they would use it as their revenue. They focus more on providing both primary and secondary resources to attract tourists, and this makes such places hotspots. Now let's talk about variations in the sphere of influence. So the sphere of influence of a sporting event is the area from which the sporting event draws its competitors and supporters. So basically, when you talk about variations in the sphere of influence, it really talks about how attracted a person is to going to that area. So we have to define words such as range and threshold. So range refers to the maximum distance that people are prepared to travel to attend to a sporting event or visit a tourist facility, and threshold is a minimum number of people required or needed for a sporting facility or tourist facility to be operational. So some sporting or touristic activities, facilities may have a higher range and therefore a higher sphere of influence. These are known as high order sporting or touristic activities, facilities. Okay. On the other hand, low order touristic and sporting facilities are those where fewer people are prepared to travel long distances or pay more to enjoy the service. So this includes local parks, gyms, and restaurants and cinemas. People are not going to go all the way to Spain just to go to their movie theater. They would go there for, heritage tourism, sporting events, cultural tourism, and all those things. Just not going to a specific cinema in Spain unless it has a really deep meaning to it. Okay, so this picture here shows the spheres of influence of the leisure hierarchy. So you can see that, local parks and open spaces are not that interesting to a lot of people, but it slowly increases. Okay, so now we could look at these words right here. I will be repeating myself. So hierarchy is a system or organization in which people or groups are ranked one above the other according to status or authority, and it also has to do with importance as well, which really dips into the same thing of sphere of influence, where there's a leisure hierarchy. So sphere of influence, the area from which a tourist attraction draws its customers, and range distance a person is willing to travel to reach a facility, and threshold population, minimum number of people necessary to before a particular good or service can be provided in an area. So we have like different types of settlement types and settlement size, recreational facilities, and recreational activities, and we can see the differences in what people would want to enjoy. So if we have like a village, we would have like a bar, a community hall, barns, agriculture. Not a lot of people would want to travel there just to go to a cafe in a little village, but that's a type of tourism some people are into. But generally speaking, for like a broad touristic, term, no. And if we look at major cities, they have amusement parks, skating rinks, national stadiums, bigger zoos, bigger aquariums, National Museum for Art and History. More people are willing to go there. More people are, wanting to spend their money to get to that location. Okay. So factors influencing the spheres of influence of different kinds of sporting and touristic facilities. So we have affluence. If the cities are income earners, high income earners, they can afford to patronize sporting events through stadium attendance, television views, and souvenirs, and are more likely to support these means. So government and private investment, again, the government investment in infrastructure to support sports development meant to attract young people to a sporting event is more likely to attract many teams from such cities or countries. So growth in popularity is another one, and advertisement and marketing in new areas, that's also a really straightforward one. Increased wealth and development in a country, the impact of global competition, and increased exposure to different media as a result of an increase in technology. So let's look at the intra-urban leisure hierarchy. So leisure hierarchy in an urban area can be conceptualized in the diagram right here. And yeah, that is it for this video. It is quite short for today. Thanks for watching.